Hey Travis County, welcome back. It's part 3 of our regrowing series. I'm Tamara Schubert, your Family and Consumer Science Educator for NMSU and Travis County Cooperative Extension Service.
And I'm Drew Garnett. I am the Ag Agent here in Travis County.
And as you can see, we have some fun stuff today. If you've missed our other sessions, make sure to go back and get a catch up on our onions. And we're going to talk a little bit more about our garlic. So we tried a little bit of a different method this time. So I've had garlic cloves peeled down to the clove itself in a wet paper towel for about a week, and I actually got some root growth out of it.
And that's awesome.
Right? And just like our onions, I put it in some water. So now you can see that we also have some sprouts going on. So if you're like me, I'm so impatient. I want to see things come out of the soil right away. We're going to plant these guys, and the key thing here, Drew, is to make sure the green sprout stays above.
Yeah, so you're going to want to keep that green sprout above. Now, obviously the base where the garlic clove is, make sure that is buried, but just slightly under the soil top. You want to keep that green sprout up because that, again, is where the plant is going to be photosynthesizing and making all its food for itself.
So I heard it this morning in our meeting. Green needs the sun, roots need the water, so make sure they're separated. All right, so how many can I pot in this plant? This pot?
You know, with these, so generally you're going to get less of a bulb when you do grow them this way. So you can plant them a little bit closer, but I would still give them about 3 to 4 inches.
3 to 4 inches? Yep. A little ways down?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I know you guys can't see. We'll zoom in here just a little bit so that everybody can see. And we had some big ones in here.
Oh,
check this guy out.
Look at those roots. And about how long did you have them out in that paper towel?
So I had them for a week in a really, really wet paper towel, guys. About a week, and then they've been sitting in the water for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days.
That's awesome. Yeah, they've really produced great.
Check that out.
Look at those roots.
All right, so I can probably get 4 in here. Is that what we're going with?
I would at least put 4.
Okay, trying to get them far enough down there. And then water just like the other ones?
Yes, water just like the others. You're going to want good drainage. And then again, once you get later into the season, maybe that later May or June, when you're starting to see those bulbs produce, do lay off on that fertilizing because you want them to just focus on that next reproductive growth, which is the garlic cloves.
Okay, we're going to take a picture and show you guys what the inside of this looks like and a little bit into our roots and our growth here. But let's talk, while I water this, let's talk pineapple.
Awesome. So obviously we wanted to stay with native plants that we grow here in New Mexico regularly, right, Tamara?
Right.
Yeah, okay, that's a joke. We don't grow pineapples naturally here in New Mexico. But pineapple is such a great plant that anybody can grow. The example is right here next to me. We actually have 2 pineapple plants that were started from the grocery store. And really all you have to do is you want to come down, take your pineapple, just lay it down across, and we're just going to take this little top 1/2 inch to 1 inch off right off the top. It's going to be real simple. And make sure you have a nice sharp knife, good cutting board, good stable platform. You don't want to cut yourself. Sometimes if these pineapples aren't quite ripe yet, you can hurt yourself. So we're just actually going to take this little top and we're going to let it dry out for about a day or 2 in a relatively cool room temperature, somewhere relatively dark. Just let it dry out somewhere on the counter for about a day or 2. And then you'll actually be able to bury just this top portion that we've cut off here and just kind of bury that in. Again, we're going to leave the green, nice green up top and out clear of the soil. But then you'll eventually end up with something like this. Of course, pineapple does grow relatively slow. So again, for those who are looking for a pineapple right away, don't expect one. This right here you'll actually see is the first pineapple that this particular plant has produced, and that has been 3 years in the making.
And it does take a little while to get them. So Drew, I've read a couple of different things. Do we have to remove anything on this, or is this good to go like this?
So you can. You could actually trim this up a little bit more, get it closer to this stalk if you want to. I didn't with these.
Okay.
So you don't have to, but it is important to let it dry out for that day or two.
So if we don't dry it out, we get mold growth,
yes,
right?
You'll get a
And
bunch
we don't
of
want that.
And you can plant this in the soil. However, here in New Mexico, just because of our climate, pineapple's not native. It's native to Central America. It does great in Hawaii, places that are very tropical. Don't get those really low temperatures. If you left this plant outside when we hit 28 degrees or lower, you're going to kill it. So my recommendation is get a nice big healthy pot and plant it in that. Something that once winter does come around, you can bring it inside to a warm location, somewhere it's still going to get plenty of sunlight. But again, you got to watch that cold. And in this particular pot, we did plant 2 pineapples. In reality, we should have just put 1 in this size pot. You really want to keep them about 1 foot to 3 foot apart from each other, which is why this particular pineapple that it is producing here is so much smaller than this one that you're seeing right here, because I've had these 2 pineapple plants competing for nutrients, for water, and so since they've been fighting each other, they're a little bit weaker, so they're producing smaller pineapples than this nice large one that you normally find in your grocery store. And then, of course, our trip from Florida here to New Mexico, going from 70, 80 degree weather directly into the 30s in that trip in the back of a U-Haul, probably didn't help it much.
A little bit of a change.
A little bit.
So we are going to let this dry out this week. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to have another vegetable for you guys, but we're going to plant this one next week too. And my favorite part of anything, right, is to talk about the fruit itself, because I love pineapple and it smells great. So pineapple is one of those fruits that's loaded in nutrients. It has disease-fighting antioxidants, which is great for your immunity. It helps with digestion, and just like our garlic and onion, it is one of those cancer-fighting prevention foods that we can eat. It does great with arthritis and inflammation, and it even helps you recover after surgery.
Awesome.
So if you're looking for a little something extra in your diet, pineapple is great. But if you do it this way, just be prepared to wait for a little while.
Yes, you're going to be waiting a little bit. And of course, remember, our temperature changes. They fluctuate, especially this time of year. Keep it in a nice warm place. You really don't want to drop it below that freezing point. Really, you want to keep it above 40 degrees.
So greenhouses are great for this one.
Greenhouses are great, but if you're willing to move that pot inside once winter comes, it's great. It does great in full sun. It does need water, but you want to make sure that the soil does drain. It is susceptible to root rot.
So gravel in the bottom of our pots.
Gravel in the bottom of your pot, newspaper even, something that'll help keep those holes at the bottom of the pot flowing, but not clogged up.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's about it. Get out and plant it.
All
Have fun.
right. See you next week.